My name is Lemon, and this is my sketchbook tour. So, for the first couple of pages in the sketchbook, you realize that I was kind of like experimenting with the media, with pencils, with markers, and so forth. And that's really what all of this is. Alright, so first page, well, fake first page because it's actually glued. But we'll open that. So, this skin. So this character is actually based off this one. So this is what she was back then when I first did it in high school, but whatever. This is what she originally looked like, and this is what she looks like now in gouache. Go back. The ice cream girl. Well, this is actually around here. See there? Try to keep some of the similarities, but that is what it is. The ice cream tree is from. So it is. It's supposed to be based off this, right? So this was that. This was supposed to be that. Okay? Big improvement. Then we have this. This was on the first page. Yes. So this is the first time doing it. Then it's the next time. And then we have here. I spoiled the page, colored it with black paint, used some of the shimmers. Specifically just this shimmer. Got it from Timo. Her is basically her. I didn't color her because I couldn't be bothered. And she over here is this. Didn't know how to draw a black girl. Well, I didn't know how dark to make the skin, or was scared to make the skin dark. So this is what happened. I said that the eyes are not on the same level because you can see, and the iris could have been made, and I could have made the skin darker, but overall good job because I actually did something. And then I went back again and I drew her this time with here. The eyes probably aren't perfect, but it's a little bit better than this. And I actually drew out a nose and a lipstick. Right, and here I nose and everything. I didn't draw the whole body though because I thought the body was fine. And then here's she over here. Same punky sleeve, same dress, fancy adornments, and I gave her a different shape here, essentially. And then we have here, I spoiled the page, colored it black, painted it black, did this. Then her, she's based off this. I decided to abandon the buns, or what is supposed to resemble buns, and just went straight for the braids. In fact, one of the other characters I drew off of recently, Valentina, that's what their name is. I actually, this is what I looked at to see how I'm supposed to actually draw the braid. I had braid references, but I was unsure of how I used to draw the braid, so I just looked back at this and I was like, oh. Yeah, I'll see her with the buns to match back this. She is not pink skin, but I did keep the freckles. The eyes aren't colored or anything, so there's that. Then we also have this page where I think I just wanted to paint the full page black, and I did somewhat of a sketchbook spread, and I used shimmer to decorate the page. It's supposed to be a heart inside, yada. Good stuff. And I used the brown paper in there to stop the acrylic from sticking to itself. This is Arena. I actually had several drawings of her. I had it's in a bigger sketchbook, but I ain't gonna take that up, but just have to take my word for it. The painting beside it was, I used river water with gouache. You know, I was testing out my water brush. And yeah, so this is what I painted. The leaves were unnecessary that I think about it. And this part was unnecessary. But overall, it was nice. It was really nice. This is nice. I was finally deciding that I'm going to paint skin color, a dark color, and these are my light, I guess, and shadow and stuff. Made her eyes red and gray. Did the hair. Obviously, her body is wrong. I was supposed to draw another hand here, but never mind. Yeah, but yeah, I did something, and I'm glad I did. She was supposed to be based off Snow White and Frankie from Monster High because of the thing that's on her neck. But then afterwards, last minute, I just decided against it, and this is what happened. Then she was supposed to be an amputee because one, I don't like drawing hands, and two, I thought it would make it interesting if she was supposed to be a character for some reason. So yeah, must say I like doing the hair though. Her, I actually did a digital rendering of her, or digital painting of her. It's on the TikTok, about TikTok page. It's one of those videos. I didn't put any sound, like I didn't use my voice on it. I just did something and put some sound on it, and that was it. But yeah, I did it, and I think the color palette for it, I chose it at random, and I just went with it. So everything is just from the color palette. The skin, the background, everything is based off the color palette that I took. And this is acrylic painted background, and I use pencil crayons to color in the skin and the face and everything, and I use gouache to paint the hair. Yeah, I was going to paint everything, but I was like, I don't have a small enough brush. Same thing with over here, and I just did the hair. And they were supposed to be looking at each other. She was supposed to be like, oh my gosh, why she's looking at me? She's like, oh my gosh, I can see you. Yeah, type stuff. They're supposed to be sisters. This is her hair. I like the hair, and I just did the hair and just left, and I was like, I am not finishing this. Moving on. Then there's this. I wanted to do something like have shimmer and black over here, and have a different color with paint over here. I didn't do it properly. It's atrocious. Right. And there's this. This did not appear before this. This is actually when the sketchbook was near to ending, and I was like, oh, I have a black page here. Let me fill in the black page, and I decided to do a fish in water type stuff background, and the fish patterns is based off a koi fish, like this type of koi fish. And then what I did was, where do you see the orange patterns are? That's kind of what the flowers take up. And then these are flower petals, these are its eyes, yada yada. And it looks like a fish. Her thing is based off a DTIY I did a couple years ago. Some of the first couple of drawings in this sketchbook were actually based off a DTIY I did a couple years ago, I believe during the time of COVID. And this was not done in COVID, but it was done couple months, probably last year. Yeah, and it was based off fishes and rose petals. I didn't know how to mix it, so I mixed it like having the scales here on the dress, and then having flowers decorated. And because scales shimmer and stuff, yeah. And then I have a flower type crown, and she has a fish purse. I did not know fish purse existed, but they did, so I gave her one. Then there's this abomination. Yeah, we move on. Alright, so this is when I did a domestica course on how to use gouache, and I was playing with the brush thickness variation when it comes to putting down strokes and stuff for it. I did this as well, right? This as well, right? Still playing with the brush, still playing with the paint. I made a mistake here and I didn't like it, so I just painted black as usual and used shimmer to do something. This was also a blank space until recently, where I decided to use chalk and make some random patterns and then put shimmer over it, or in between the spaces. And this part is self-explanatory. Dry brush, barely wet. Right. Ignore what is written down here because then that may consider it's kind of redundant, but whatever. So ignore what's something down here, but you can see the variation as you add more water on the brush with the paint. And these are different hair textures with different wetness of paint on the brush. Right?